Unions are pleading with striking workers at Eskom to return to work while wage negotiations continue. Workers embarked on a wildcat strike last week following deadlock in wage talks. And since then, there have been allegations that those reporting for duty are being intimidated. Eskom employees are classified as essential workers and are not allowed to strike. But the strike has pushed rolling blackouts to stage 6. Now, NUM General Secretary Mr. William Mabapa joins us now to give us some clarity on what is going on between, of course, workers' unions as well as Eskom. Mr. Mabapa, thank you for your time and good morning to you. Please bring us some clarity. Is the wage negotiation over? Has it been concluded? Have you reached an agreement with Eskom?
Look, let me explain that last week there was wage negotiations and Eskom offered 4%, 4.5% and 5.3%. And they declared that as a final offer, and they also further declared a dispute, meaning that they will then refer the matter to CCMA, which subsequently the matter was then referred to CCMA, probably last week, Wednesday. And when this was then done, as communications goes out, probably in many of the time they themselves also are doing this type of communications. And then when workers receive this information, this is where the demonstration started. That is why it is at the time that we were not even at the time that we went to the workers to give a feedback, but already workers, because there was communication that even come from Eskom, and Eskom has given a final offer of 4%, 4.5 and 5.3. Then this demonstration started. Now, from NUM and NUMSA, we then had a meeting amongst ourselves as the leadership as to what is then going to be the way forward immediately after the wage negotiations. And then NUM and NUMSA then wrote a letter to Eskom requesting a meeting with the senior level leadership, your CEO, general secretaries of both unions, to further engage and see how we then can resolve this problem. But we must understand that this is an issue that I'm sure is pressurized by the fact that Eskom last year in June did the same thing, gave an offer of 1.5, declared a dispute, implemented that 1.5 forcefully so, and then the matter was then referred to CCMA arbitration. As we speak today, that arbitration has not yet been concluded. I can give an example. On Thursday, that arbitration of last year wage agreement is coming. Now, look, we are saying to Eskom, this is unfair because you given the workers 1.5 last year. The matter is at the arbitration. The arbitration took 12 months, is not concluded. You are taking another second wage negotiations. You are going to put them at the arbitration. That means you are saying to the workers they must expect to wait again for another 12 months. By the other 12 months, that means next year by this time, there will be another wage negotiations for 2023. Is that reasonable? Is really, if you are a parent, you have to be responsible. You have been given 1.5 last year, and this year you have to be given a 4%, and you are called an essential service. To me, we must value. If you call me essential service, value me. Give me conditions that I don't have to struggle.
So where do negotiations stand at this point? Where do they stand?
Where the negotiations stand at this point is that yesterday we reached an agreement in principle that wage negotiations will resume back on Friday, meaning that the process of the dispute will not work anymore. Wage negotiations will resume on Friday, and Eskom will give a revised offer. They will table a revised offer on Friday, and yes, let me say that in principle, what was discussed and agreed is not a settlement, because I think there is a confusion that it is an agreement that, yes, we will not follow the process of the dispute going to the CCMA. We will still go to the normal central bargaining forum, and at that central bargaining forum, Eskom will give a revised offer. And then it is within that background that we then understand that if negotiations are going back to the table and Eskom will give a revised offer, the likelihood is that there will then be a settlement on Friday. But as we speak, there is no settlement.
So, Ms. Mababa, until that time comes, until Friday comes, what then? Where does then leave the status of the strike?
Look, like we are raising it at all times. We did not sanction any strike, so therefore, in terms of the strike, we are encouraging our members to normalize the situation. But you must understand, under any normal circumstances like this, when workers are demonstrating, the only thing that you can go to them and persuade them and encourage them is to say, look, here is the offer, and this offer is within your mandate, because you must know that as the negotiating team, there is a mandate that we know. If Eskom come there and present a mandate that is within the mandate that the workers gave us, probably there will be a settlement, because that offer will be within our mandate. So in many times it is that agreement in writing that will then say, comrades, come rain or shine, the offer on the table is this one, and it is in writing. Look, here is the offer. And then you easily persuade them to go back to work. So for now, we are encouraging them to say, we do understand that the nation is important. We don't think that the strike must continue. But you look, we raised the very pertinent issues to say we are dealing with people that are also parents. You are given a 1.5 last year, and this year you are given a 4%.
And perhaps,
you ask
just for clarity, then when you speak of normalize, what does that mean when you make an appeal for workers to normalize?
When we say what?
When you say normalize, the word normalize, just for clarity, when you're asking them to normalize as workers, what does that mean?
Look, in a simple terms, normalize is that we are asking them to go back to work, because the situation is not normal. When workers are under the protest, they are not going to work. The situation is not normal. But when you say we are asking them to normalize the situation, we are asking them to go back to work. But like I'm saying, you must understand, we are asking them. We can't, as the General Secretary of NUM, if there is an agreement and the workers are still on protest and the agreement is within their own background. Now, I will then tell them that as members of the union, that will then be a decision of the union for them to go to work. But under these circumstances, it is difficult. There is no agreement. We didn't sanction that strike, and then we are pleading with them that as the Eskom has agreed to go back to the negotiations, and Eskom committed that they will give a revised offer on Friday. Yeah, it is within those reasonable grounds that we are saying we ask them to go back to work.
All right, we'll leave it then. I appreciate you speaking to us this morning. Mr. William Mababa from NUM, thank you for your time. Speaking to us about the status of wage negotiations, it seems that the 1st of July will be when they will still go back to consult with Eskom, saying that no agreement has been reached. Just in terms of what the Minister, Pravin Gordhan, had to say, they're still engaging and asking, of course, members to normalize and go back to work in the meantime.